Hi friends, good evening. Last time we talked about contracts management and different life cycle involved in contracts management. And today we shall proceed for a couple of minutes on talk about first life cycle in a contracts management. And what is that? That is authorization for contract. The steps involved for authorization for contracts are to make a user department or the proponent has to make a project summary, detailed scope of work, and he has to go to make planned work duration with relevant milestones, pricing methods, whether it's a lump sum, unit rate, cost reimbursable, time and material, short form. He has to prepare bid evaluation criteria, which comprises of technical evaluation, commercial evaluation, and awarding criteria. Allocate appropriate budget codes, amount, cost estimation, which are calculated for relevant budgets, and finally, obtain the user department's management approval or the senior management approval. After all this is done, you have to forward the same thing to the corporate planning department, get their endorsement, and forward to procurement and tendering division. Briefly, I will present to you a specialized form, which is self-explanatory, fill in the blank type. The heading says authorization for contract, form 1. It is to be filled in by the user or the proponent department. He will put in contract title per budget book as he prepares the budget, so he makes a title for that. And then he adds attachments to that. What is that scope of work? Technical specifications, drawings. Mind you, technical scope of work and bid evaluation criteria, we will go in the next session, not today, because it's also a big subject, vast area. Then you will have a tender type. Is it an open tender, restricted open category, selective tender, sole source tender? What is the estimated contract value? Mind you, you can have your own denomination currency. I just put it there, US dollars. Is it an expense code or a capital budget? What's the plan start date? What is the contract duration? Needs to be filled in. The internal cost center, the internal order, wherever applicable, project code, account number, approved budget, is it actual variance year to date? Capital budget, is it going to be a service agreement, service contract? Is it going to be a unit rate, a lump sum, or lump sum STK? And then finally, in the upper portion of the user department, the originator will sign his extension and date, and the manager will approve. As soon as the same thing is done, it is forwarded to the corporate planning division, where that is the CPD, with the budget division approval authority, and they will verify the budget verification. And then we will find out is the proposed item in the approved budget or extra approval is needed. Does the attached scope of work, which is prepared by the user department, match the budget proposal? And or is this AFE, what is authorization for expenditure? Does it include proper documentation and justification? Mind you, scope of work and bid evaluation criteria is not I'm covering today. I will do it in the next session. And does the start date and contract value match phasing of funds? Okay, there are different phases of the project also. So is it matching that you need? Is the total contract value greater than the funding of the budget? That needs to be appropriately checked. Then finally, to find out cost center, internal order matches, work breakdown structure matches, cost element, component code, original budget, then signature of the superintendent of the planning department or corporate planning, and finally the approval of the corporate planning manager. After all this thing is done, then it is forwarded to the contracts department. Hey, the contract department receives it, and here the actual work starts. A proper tender number is appropriately put in. The tender title is put in by the contract department, and tender period. What will be the tendering period for the bids to come in that weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? That needs to be put in. Proposal receiving validity days has to be put in. Then there will be qualification or technical proposal, then price proposal. These are to be sealed. But so are they to be done in 2 envelopes or 1 envelope? That needs to be sorted out by the contract department along with the user department. Then in charge of the contract department, he puts his name, telephone, sign, date, and then manager puts his name, telephone, sign, and date. And that completes our AFC, or the authorization for contracts steps. And next time we will cover the bid evaluation criteria and the scope of work. Thank you very much. Bye.